Life is too complicated. I just want to get away. Away from the noise of this house, the arguments, my family. I wish I was somewhere else, just for a while. Away from the stress of daily life, of being myself. Away from the responsibilities, obligations, and demands. Most of all, away from my nagging, judgmental parents. But for now, I'll settle for being away from the noise. It's winter, so escaping to the outdoor isn't an option, so the garage will have to do. It's not as frigid in there, but it's still chilling, so I bring a small space heater. I find an old lawn chair and set it up next to the only outlet I can find. As the ancient off-white heater warms up, I look around. The place is so dirty. The concrete floor needs sweeping. The corners are stained with moisture and mildew. But no one comes out here this time of year. Though tonight, it's perfect. If I want peace and quiet without the frostbite, it'll have to do. In a few minutes, the heater will warm up, so much so that my shins are burning. I move them aside so that the rest of my body can feel the warmth of the tiny electric sun. After I move my foot, my eyes stray and I spot a quarter-sized beetle. Its exoskeleton is dark, but where the light hits it, the blue and purple metallic undertones are revealed. I've never seen this kind of insect in person before, but I know enough to realize that it's not native to this area. It must have been searching for an escape from the winter and found its way into my garage. And I have real heat, so it comes close. As it stands at my feet, it peers curiously at me. For a moment, it seems to be thinking. But that's silly. I mean, it's a bug. A few minutes go by. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I catch something bright red dart across the dusty floor. Before I can distinguish what it was, another beetle inches closer to the heat. The dark one by my foot somehow climbed up onto my shoe, almost to my ankle, and as soon as I reach down to brush it off, I feel its thin legs on the skin of my lower shin. Suddenly a sharp, stinging pain runs up my leg and throughout my whole body, and the pain is soon replaced by a tingling sensation, then a gentle numbness. I try to reach down to rub my leg, and as I move to shoo the beetle from my shin, the numbness spreads. In a moment, I find I can't move at all. Not my legs, not my arms, nothing. I'm completely paralyzed. Leaned over and no longer in control of my motor functions, I slump out of my chair and land on the ice-cold concrete floor. Wincing as the icy pavement connects with my jaw and neck at an odd angle. As I try in vain to pick my limp body up off the ground, I spy more beetles scurrying towards me. In my limited field of vision, strangely, none of them touch me. They're all similar in appearance to the first. Dark. With a bit of color. Whatever I was stung with is now acting as a kind of sedative, and it's starting to calm my mind. I'm confident this poison will kill me. I can feel it in my blood. But at the same time, I've never felt so peaceful. As I consider my fate, the bright red beetle steps in front of my eyes. As if it knows I can see it. It acts in a miniature way, like it's the leader of the cloud of insects surrounding me. It crawls closer to my open mouth, and I fear the worst. I feel its minute feet touch my lips, one after the other. In an instant, it's inside my mouth. And just like that, all hell breaks loose. All at once, the insects swarm over my body. By now, I would normally be gagging and flailing to the high heavens, but thanks to the sedative, I feel completely calm. Oddly enough, the tingling sensation of the swarming horde on my clothing and on my skin does not cause me panic, but instead soothes me. And I'm surprised to find that the tiny clicks of their scrambling legs hitting one after the other comforts me. I choke as the squirming mass of parasites enter my throat and descend into my body, but I'm helpless to stop them. As I lie there defenseless, I wonder why they're not stinging or biting me. As I lose consciousness, I find myself asking, what are they doing? A moment later, I'm free, hovering over the bloated corpse that I've been forcibly evicted from. I watch with fascination as the last handful of beetles join their teeming brethren in the new home. As I feel myself fading out of this world, I get a glimpse of the body on the garage floor. It twitches, shudders, and rises to its feet. As I watch with a mixture of horror and curiosity, it walks in a slow, shambling gait to the front door. It stops in the doorway and turns in my direction, as if it can see me. I want to turn away, but I can't move. I watch as my body's lips part in what appears to be an attempt to grin. As the smile widens, dozens of beetles cascade to the floor, and the corpse stands there a moment longer, mouth agape, gagging on the torrent of pestilence streaming from its mouth. I swear it's looking right at me. Then from inside the house I hear the voices of my mother and father calling me to dinner. My curiosity is immediately replaced by abject horror. I want to scream, but I can't open my mouth, and I can only stare as the corpse turns and steps into the house without me. A smirk replaces the wide smile on what used to be my face, and it shuts the door. Through the steel door leading to the kitchen, I can't make out much, but I do hear my mother as she announces the evening meal. Dinner served.